Scott?
Yeah, thank you. So hey Jeffrey, thank you for coming in. I've been on the police commission for about a year and a half as the Human Rights Commission liaison, and I'm about my 3-year mark on the Human Rights Commission. And very happy to have you here. And with that, start with the first question. Um,
Oh, did Holly introduce herself?
No, Holly
I
can.
didn't. Hi,
Those
Jeffrey. I'm Holly Matthews. I communicated with you about the interview tonight, and I'm the police commission analyst. I am the liaison to the commission and the city of Eugene. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
All right, sir.
all right, and sorry about that, Holly. Question number one, why do you want to be on the police commission? And have you ever attended a police commission meeting either in person or virtually?
Okay, so in reverse order, I don't of answering your questions. I don't recall if I have attended a meeting. If I did, it would have been years ago when I first got interested in my initial wave of activism. But I cannot really recall sitting in on that. Why I was interested in applying, I applied to both this and the Human Rights Commission. I'm interested in both because I think both positions are relevant to social justice and human rights, but specifically on this, especially on this position, I was politically awakened again, or reawakened, let's say, during the Black Lives Matter movement of 2020. So that time I tried to organize my workplace to contribute to a mission statement, served as part of an anti-racism task force that eventually made a set of like 8 recommendations to the company. Group eventually transitioned into a formal DEI board that I served on for several more months. Company eventually got sold out. So anyways, but that lasted a little while. I went to community education events, speeches, marches, protests, where I donated to all sorts of campaigns, wrote emails, and still I kind of felt like that had little impact on police conduct, like locally or in America. So I'm still interested in seeing if there's any changes to be made from the inside.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jeffrey, I have the second question. Please tell us what experience you have working to help develop policies and make recommendations on agency resource priorities.
Oh, well, perfect. The aforementioned anti-racism task force made a bunch of recommendations. I recall it being 8 or so to the company that used to be known as Strong Integrated Behavioral Health. Now it's part of Life Stance Eugene. And again, I contributed to a mission statement, a set of recommendations that were robust, covered technology, hiring practices, I think resolution of disputes, inclusion. That's just off the top of my head. I haven't reviewed the text in a while. Where else have I helped develop policy? Oh, well, yeah, actually, and back in grad school for, I want to say a year or two, I was serving on as the graduate. Oh, we lost someone.
No, he's still here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry.
There we go. Sorry, you just blinked off my screen there.
Yeah.
Sorry for the long answer, but also back in grad school, I served as a, I believe, I forget exactly what it's called. It's like an anti-violence task force, or it's not anti-violence. It was a safety kind of preparation task force. Basically, if there were school shootings or other emergencies, trying to coordinate all the departments and figure out what the formal plan was, which would include liaising with the local police forces. And so I think I did that for roughly 2 years. That was several years back, though. So I think that answered the question.
I think so.
Thank you.
What do you think are the 3 most critical policing issues facing the Eugene Police Department and our community as a whole? And how would you address these issues as a member of the Police Commission?
Okay. That sounds like multiple questions there. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. What do you think are the 3 most critical issues facing the Eugene Police Department and our community? And how would you address these issues as a member of the Police Commission?
Okay, in our community. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's tough. I'm limited to 3. Okay. So citizen board review of use of force, I think, is important. Policies around police interactions with our homeless or underhoused population is a critical matter. I know I'm only limited to one more option, so I mean, there's a whole host of things that probably need to be done to address this final issue, I think, of just police reputation and image in the community, which has to do with, you know, on the training side of things, not just sensitivity training, but I mean like use of force training. I would call it cultural education, um, conflict de-escalation training, to help improve the police force reputation with local residents that are our BIPOC community, and I don't mean to just lump everyone together there. These are each individual community needs its own liaising and I think resolution of disputes in communication. I think, you know, I didn't mention this issue, but also police policy around interaction with undocumented residents of Lane County, because they are also workers and contribute to our communities, and their children are educated here. And I want to make sure that the police are respectful and not violating people's rights there. There's a whole host of more things I'd want to talk about. Spiraling police budget, which would mean I'd like to participate in a comprehensive audit, and I'd like to audit what training programs, not just in terms of sensitivity, but again, use of force and various other police training policies are happening. I would like to make sure that vendors that the police are interacting with follow a human rights-based vendor policy, which I would love to implement. So that's just off the top of my head. Go ahead. I'm sure you have 3 more questions.
Great. So
Scott was the next one.
Scott was next. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, the role of the police commission is to help ensure that police policies and practices represent community values. As a member of the police commission, how do you ascertain what community values are in Eugene?
How do I ascertain what community values are in Eugene? The short answer is by participating in the community. Longer answer would be, well, in my job as a clinical psychologist, it serves adults ranging from, I would say, well, young adults, 17 on up to death, let's say. You know, all age ranges pretty much. I speak to a wide variety of people from across Lane County primarily, and primarily Eugene, I would say. And I've been serving first at Strong Integrated Behavioral Health starting in 2017, and also Oregon Medical Group that continued on into Life Stance Health, where now I'm able to provide a lot of telehealth services, which connects me to even more people that may otherwise have limited access. So just even doing my job, I hear about a lot of different experiences of people of diverse backgrounds, of a range from the range of classes. I don't work with millionaires and billionaires. They're probably seeing a more pricey psychologist. But also, I've been participating quite a bit in community activism in the last 4 months, particularly around the ceasefire initiative and other, well, stopping the war. I've participated in I just went to a Democratic Party of Lane County committee meeting for the first time. Actually, this was technically my second meeting. I helped rewrite the foreign policy platform for the DPLC. We got it passed. It was a populist and popular platform, and I'm trying to see that through by attending more meetings at the Democratic Party.
We're at pretty much the time allotted.
I'm sorry for giving such long-winded answers. I'll give you quick answers the next two.
Okay. So Dallas, you're next.
Okay. The Police Commission is a group of diverse individuals with diverse backgrounds who work together to make recommendations to the police chief and city council. Tell us about some of your experience working with diverse groups with different viewpoints.
Well, those various task force and committees that I mentioned just in my workplace alone brought together people with sometimes very conflicting viewpoints, and there were certainly some tense conversations. Certainly during 2020, I every day have to work with a whole variety of clients with different backgrounds and viewpoints and identities. I have to work very constructively with people that may think very, very differently than me. And I also just mentioned my recent political engagement, both on activism and formal party side of things, where, again, I've had to unite with people around a common issue where that really may be the only thing we agree on. And that's very challenging to resolve, but I've done it. I didn't even mention really my background in training to become a psychologist, where I worked for a year in a jail for my internship, where I was running programs, doing individual therapy, running assessments, and, well, had many colleagues that were part of law enforcement. Go ahead, one more question.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. So the Police Commission meets the second Thursday of every month, except for August. It meets from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Most Police Commission members spend up to an hour preparing for the monthly meeting, and then along with the time spent throughout the month connecting with community members. In addition, commissioners will serve a 4-year term. Does this time commitment work for you?
Yes, I'd be honored to serve.
And there are also subcommittees. Would you be willing to serve in a subcommittee capacity as well?
Yes, I am looking to get involved.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And,
Sorry for taking a little bit longer than you planned.
That happens.
I'm sure.
And so with that, we want to thank you for being here. And
You're welcome. Thank you all for taking
Yes,
time
thank you.
out of your day.
yeah, have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. I feel
Okay, so-
really bad that we are going over already.
That's okay. So we have John in the waiting room. Would you like me to bring him over?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So Dallas, you'll start with question 1.
Okay. And you can do a kind of an intro. You can start off and I'll do question 1.
Okay.
This is John Schmidt.
Yes.
Is John on now?
There he is.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hello, John.
Hello.
Good evening, and thank you for reaching out to be on the Police Commission. I do have a little thing here. So thank you for offering to serve on the Police Commission recommendation. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong one. So we're slated
Excuse me.
to meet with 7 different candidates this evening, and we'll have about 10 minutes per candidate. So if you would please keep your time with us to at least 10 minutes. And then we'll be scoring that and giving our information over to the liaison, who will then send it over to the city council. My name is Silver Mogart. I've been on the Police Commission since 2017. I'll pass it over to Scott. He'll give a brief introduction of himself, and then we'll throw it over to Dallas.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
Excellent.
Yeah, my name's Scott Lemons. I've been on the Police Commission for about a year and a half as the Human Rights Commission liaison, and I'm coming up right on around 3 years on the Human Rights Commission.
My name is Dallas Boggs, and I've been with the Eugene Police Commission for 4 years. Holly?
Hi, John. I'm Holly Matthews, and I am the city liaison between the Police Commission and the City Council. And welcome. Thank you for being here.
Excellent.
Great.
I'm
So I'm
pleased
gonna-
to be here.
Thank you, John. Well, I'm going to start you off, John, with your first question. Why do you want to be on the police commission? And have you ever attended any police commission meetings, either in person or virtually?
No, I have never attended one of the meetings. I've always been interested. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Um, I've lived in Eugene for about 30 years, and I've watched the police department, some of the activities around the police department, and I've finally gotten to a place where I think I can make a contribution to the community. And I'd like to do that while I still have that opportunity.
And have you attended a police commission meeting in person or virtually?
No, I never have.
Next question.
Yeah. So, John, please tell us your experience that you have, the experience that you have working to help develop policies and to make recommendations on agency resource priorities.
Going way back, I was one of the first paramedics in the Kansas City Fire Department. And so I got to set a lot of policy and procedure, or help to set a lot of policy and procedure in that position. Um, since then, I've worked in corporate management, software development management, and so an excellent analyst and a pretty good manager. And also, I'll point out, it does make a lot of difference to me, but I had originally expressed my interest in the police review board and had the police commission as my second choice. So just if it seems a little out of place, that may be the reason. But I am very interested in the commission.
Thank you. Scott?
Thank you. Question number 3, what do you think are the 3 most critical policing issues facing the Eugene Police Department and our community as a whole? How would you address these issues as a member of the police commission?
I think manpower and resources are always an issue. I also am very concerned about the lack of jail beds, which takes a major resource away from the police being able to do their jobs. The other major issue, I think, facing the police department here, as it does all police departments, is just the wide scope that we expect our police officers to have to fill. We're lucky in this community to have cahoots. But I think that we certainly either are stretching our officers too thin, or perhaps maybe have some opportunities to do some training, and have maybe less valuable resources than patrol officers handling some of the situations that they get into and get tied up with.
Thank you. So the role of the police commission is to help ensure that police policies and practices represent community values. As a member of the police commission, how do you ascertain what community values are in Eugene?
Well, again, I've lived here now for 30 years. I'm a downtown resident. And so I get a fairly good sampling by simply going out in front of the hotel here and talking to people. I like to make sure I talk to I like to talk to everybody. I'm not just interested in what the other 60-year-old, 70-year-old average white guys have to say. I'm very interested in what the homeless have to say and hearing the story from their side. I'm people of any different viewpoint, I guess I would put it, whether that's sexuality or maybe racial, cultural. I think I enjoy those discussions.
Wonderful, thank you. Scott, you're the next question.
Thank you. So the Police Commission is a group of diverse individuals with diverse backgrounds who work together to make recommendations to the police chief and to the city council. Tell us about some of your experiences working with diverse groups from different viewpoints.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the last part of that?
Yes, absolutely. So please tell us about some of your experiences working with diverse groups with different viewpoints.
That's fairly easy. I think I'd go back to my career as a software developer and designer, an analyst, where we're talking to a wide population at times of various users and stakeholders. For example, I did a project to modernize fuel delivery systems at airports. And so we had to deal with a range of people from the fellows who drove the fuel trucks, fellows who had to clean the inside of the fuel tanks at the airport, the controllers at the airport that would figure the fuel management, and then bring that all together with management. And I think that's an example of working with a very wide group of people.
Wonderful, thank you. Dallas, you're the final question.
Yes. The Police Commission meets the second Thursday of every month, except for August, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Most Police Commission members spend up to an hour preparing for monthly meetings, along with time spent throughout the month for connecting with community members. In addition, commissioners will serve a 4-year term. Does this time commitment work for you?
Absolutely, I'm retired, and I'm fortunate enough to live in a very nice retirement community. So I've got lots of free time to invest in volunteer position.
Great. The Police Commission also has subcommittees. Would you be willing to serve in this capacity as well?
Certainly.
Well,
Wonderful.
thank you very much. That completes the questions that we have for you this evening.
Yeah, thank you
All right,
so much.
thank you.
We appreciate your time and thank you for reaching out. We're gonna do some scoring here, and Holly will get back to you with whatever additional information that you might need, or just to let you know
Certainly.
where we're at in the process.
I'm generally available most of the time.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Okay. Thank you guys for that. I don't want to be too early with Jack is our next one. So Jack, I will tell you all that I know Jack personally. I haven't talked to him for quite a while. I'm gonna let him do his interview as everyone else has the interview questions, but
I'm just go walk in and get in a calculator.
Yeah, please go for it.
I was going to ask for a 2-minute break.
Go for it. Yeah, please.
All right, cool.
Holly, we still recording?
Yes.
Okay. I do have the Excel spreadsheet up and I'll be filling in those scores pretty
Thank you.
much as soon as we get them done. I did realize that the final question is not a number scale.
Right.
So that would kind of skew
Mhm.
the total, but I think you got to be really bad and say no, you're not willing to spend your time with us
Right.
to score a 1 on that one. So
Right.
that's kind of just a given.
Yeah.
Did Kajanda pull her application?
I did not hear from her directly, and I reached out to the city manager's office on Friday, and they were going to contact her to confirm. So, I'll let you know when I find out.
Okay. And Alan was the only one that we have here listed as in good standing, not up for reappointment.
He is not up for reappointment, I believe, for his CRB liaison position. So
Oh,
that's yeah.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready for Jack?
Me, 1 second.
Got back.
Jack. Ready?
I've always known him as Rady, but we'll
Ready?
ask him. Yeah.
Great.
Do we have Scott back?
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Okay, so now we have. I'll ask the first question, and then I'll ask the fourth question. Scott and Dallas will follow. Like that.
Great.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring on Jack.
I am.
He's here.
Hello, Jack.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. Pleasure to
Great.
see you.
Yeah, thank you. You too. So for full transparency, I let the subcommittee know that I know you personally. It's not going to affect my decision in any way, just so you know.
You didn't have a beard when I knew you.
I was going to say, I think my beard is bigger than yours, actually. So thank you for taking the time to fill out the application and be willing to serve on the police commission. We have 7 different candidates that we're going to be interviewing this evening. We'll keep the interview questions to about 10 minutes per person. And we'll take some scores and let you know in the future where we are in the process. Brief little bit about me. I've been on the police commission since 2017, I believe, if not mid 2016. I think mid 2016, actually. So Old Man Rivers here. And I serve on 2 different bodies that do healthcare boards. And I'll pass it over to Scott. Scott, if you give us a little brief introduction of yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, my name's Scott Lemons. I work with Lila, Lane Independent Living Alliance in Eugene. And I've been on the police commission for about a year and a half role as the Human Rights Commission lead. I'm about to come up on my 3-year mark on the Human Rights Commission.
And Dallas?
Great. Yes, my name is Dallas Boggs, and I have been with the Eugene Police Commission for 4 years. Holly?
Hi, Jack. I've been communicating with you for many years.
Yes.
Yes, it's nice to see a face, put a name to the face. So welcome. And I'm the police commission analyst. I'm also the executive assistant to the chief as well. So thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
So Jack, can you give us just how do you pronounce your last name?
Rady.
Okay.
Some people think
I
it's
was right.
Irish. It's not.
No, I was saying Rady, but I wanted to make sure that it was clear with everyone else that it was Rady. So I have the first question this evening. Why do you want to be on the police commission? And have you ever attended a police commission meeting, either in person or virtually?
I have attended a number of police commission meetings. I haven't in at least a year, but I've gone to several of them. Why do I want to be on the police commission? I have had interactions with the police of both a positive and negative character since I got out of high school. I have studied both military history and combat psychology and have brought that to my study of the police. When Ferguson happened, I took on the legal redress chair for the NAACP, and I have paid very close attention to the Eugene Police Department, both before that, since I got to town, and since then. And I have found out a great deal about it and learned a great deal, and wish to be able to use some of what I've learned to help the community of Eugene have a better police department. I think we've got a damn good one, but that's not a given.
Thank you. Word, Scott?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So second question, please tell us what experience you have working to help develop policies and make recommendations on agency resource priorities.
I have no experience whatsoever being part of a government agency, making decisions on priorities or policies. I have, as a citizen activist over the last 60 years, been parts of school board committees that studied and made proposals, candidates committees that have advised either candidates or people elected to public office on policy. I have been involved in various not exactly civic organizations, public organizations, from soccer leagues to parents groups at schools to the Eugene Peace Choir, the NAACP, CALC, and so forth. I am currently the president of the Free Speech Movement Archives and was secretary of the Game Designers Guild once. I've had many experiences with organizations and creating policies for organizations, but never as an official part of a city organization like the Police Commission.
Thank you. What do you think are the 3 most critical policing issues facing the Eugene Police Department and our community as a whole?
The 3 most important. It's hard to pick a top 3, and I'm not entirely certain of exactly what you're asking in terms of the 3 biggest problems faced by the police department, the 3 biggest problems faced by the citizens of Eugene in regards their department. In terms of the department itself, like every other civic agency, resources is a major issue, but I don't think that's what you're reaching for.
No.
The issues, oh, well, if I got it, great. If in terms of the questions that have to be resolved, I don't know if they necessarily come under real clear headings, but one is the culture of the department. That, I believe, is critical. I believe it is in flux. I believe I attended the Citizens Academy, so I got a pretty good look at a wide spectrum of officers, and wide spectrum is just the word. There is not one type of police officer. But the culture has a great deal to do with determining how policies will be executed in the field and its relationship with the community. And that, I believe, needs a consistent development. Another issue that I think is very important that has not been addressed much at all, but was a major part of President Obama's Commission on 21st Century Policing, and that was police mental health. The fact that the state of Oregon does not allow for stress disability for public employees is something that needs to be looked at real hard. But of course, Eugene can't do that by itself. But police mental health is an issue, and it, I think, requires more attention. The third, we have a very good and somewhat redundant set of institutions to provide transparency. I'm not sure we're getting it entirely, particularly on questions of discipline, where we are dependent on trusting a good administration that the department has. But what was it they used to say? Trust and verify. It's nice to have the actual information available to the public. And another issue that's very important, I don't know how many I've reached so far, and I hope I'm not overdoing it here. But
You're fine. I would say one more, and then I just want to let you know that I'm going to follow that with how would you address these issues as a member of the police commission?
Okay. The one more would be mutual confidence between the city of Eugene and its police department and its police officers, the citizenry, not the city structure. That I think we've made some strides on, but there are lots that has to be done in that regard. Okay, what would I do on the commission to address these? I can't do anything about resources from the state or federal government. I don't believe, and even if commission members could, I'm probably the wrong person to do it because I've been allergic to money all my life and not conversant with where to find it. In terms of community relations with the police and police relations with the community, as a commissioner, I'm not certain of all the opportunities that I would have to have an impact on that, but I know what I would encourage, which is more communication between the department and the community, and encouraging community members to become more involved and find out about and ask questions of their police department. There's too much of a wall between the two. And I don't think it's the usual traditional one of the blue wall, it's us against the world, you stay back and we'll do what we think's right. It comes from other matters. One thing that came out in the President's Commission was one police chief said, there are some communities where we cannot restore good relations with the departments because there never have been good relations in those communities. And this is because of the actions that the departments have taken historically in those communities. And until we acknowledge that and do something to correct it, we cannot expect to make good relations in those communities. For the most part, I would say that is not entirely accurate describing the situation here, but distrust of the community by the police and of the police by the community does have historical roots here and comes out of real things that have happened.
Thank you.
What did I miss?
No, you did fine.
Yeah, let's go ahead and press on here.
Okay.
So the Police Commission is a group of diverse individuals with diverse backgrounds who work together to make recommendations to the police chief and to the city council. Please tell us some of your experiences working with diverse groups and different viewpoints.
I can give you examples from 60 years ago up until last week. I was part of the free speech movement at Cal, have been a student radical back then and a senior citizen radical to this day. Given that, I was once invited to a conference run at the United States Air Force Command and Staff School, where I was told I would be valued for my unique perspective. And I made friends of colonels there that exist to this day. People came up to me to say, no one has ever asked that kind of question here before. And since getting involved in police matters in Eugene, I have become, I would say, friends with one of our sheriffs, two of our sheriffs, got to know both of our police chiefs and consider one a good friend, have met repeatedly with other officers, and coming from where I'm coming from, I had Byron Trapp, our Republican previous sheriff, wrote a letter of endorsement for me to be on this commission when I applied an earlier time. And I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter endorsing him for sheriff, and he's a Republican. I have worked with a lot of different types and groups of people. It doesn't apply much in Eugene, but I grew up in Chicago, and I know a lot of people in Eugene have had no experience whatsoever in communities of color. And I grew up in Chicago, and I lived 26 years in Oakland, California, and this is not a mystery to me. I coached a mostly Black soccer club for 16 years, worked in public schools in Oakland. This has been my life's experience. It is not your typical Eugene, how should we say, white middle class experience. That's not me.
Thank you, Jack. So I get the final question here. The Police Commission meets the second Thursday of every month, except for August, from 5:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. Most Police Commission members spend up to an hour preparing for the monthly meeting, along with time spent throughout the month connecting with community members. In addition, commissioners will serve a 4-year term. Does this time commitment work for you?
Well, I'm 76 years old. I can't guarantee you 4 years. My health is pretty good, but I have far too many friends who are currently busy dying, and I'm not happy about it. But I seem to be healthy enough. I can't guarantee 4 years, but I would certainly try for it. Thursdays is a mess for me because it's the day I go out and sing with friends, but I think we'll just have to try and find another evening to do that. I've been doing it for years and years, but going to meetings has never been a problem for me. I suffer severely from compulsory volunteer syndrome. And I've been to meetings. I've been to meetings till 2 a.m. sometimes. Yeah, that's not a problem. Preparation is not a problem. Reading is not a problem. I read the President's Commission's report, and I read re-engineering training from the police executive research, whatever it's called. I'm a reader.
Okay.
I can even read public policy and rules and nonsense like that.
The Police
I'm
Commission
also a
also
writer
has,
and an editor.
okay. The Police Commission also has subcommittees. Would you be willing to serve in this capacity as well?
One of my patron saints, Brendan Behan, used the expression throwing the handle after the hatchet, and that is my style. If I'm committed, I'm committed. I'm not, just going to show up most meetings and, kind of sit there and stare at the ceiling. If I'm in, I'm in. Yeah, I'm up for subcommittees.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for your time. We're at time, Jack, and we'll do our scoring and have a discussion, and Holly will let you know.
Thank you so much. A pleasure meeting you, who I don't know. Hi, Holly. It's so nice to have a face to put on that email. And Dallas and Scott, thank you so much. Enjoyed it. Looking forward to maybe working with you. Good night.
Thank you.
Have a good night. You guys okay for us jumping into the next one?
Yes.
Okay,
Who are
I'll
we
move-
going?
John Bradley, and I'll move him over to our.
Yes, please do.
There we go.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
We can now. Hello, John. Thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you for
Sure.
putting in an application for the Police Commission. My name is Silver Mogart. I'm the oldest serving member of the Police Commission, having served since 2017. I believe it was 2016. I can't recall. And I also serve on 2 other boards, chairs, or boards and commissions dealing with healthcare. We have 7 different applicants that we'll be talking to this evening, so we'll keep it down to about 10 minutes,
Okay.
hopefully. And I'll pass it on over to Scott, who will give an introduction of himself.
Thank you, Chair. Hey, John. My name's Scott Lemons. I work with Lane Independent Living Alliance in my career, and then I've been on the Police Commission for about a year and a half as the Human Rights Commission liaison, and I'm about to hit like my 3-year mark on the Human Rights Commission, and it's very good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Thank you.
Great. My name is Dallas Boggs, and I've been with the Eugene Police Commission for 4 years. Holly?
Hi, John. I'm Holly Matthews. I communicated with you about the interview tonight, and I am the Police Commission analyst, and I'm the liaison between the commission and the city of Eugene.
So our first question will be coming from Scott this evening.
Yes, thank you. So just to start off, why do you want to be on the Police Commission, and have you ever attended a Police Commission meeting, either in person or virtually?
Sure. Well, first, thank you all for being willing to talk to me about the Police Commission and the Police Commission's role. I'm interested because law enforcement is concurrently one of the most important things for us to get right and one of the most difficult things to get right. I've been a social worker and a therapist who served both people who are justice involved and law enforcement officers going back to now 2008. And I've witnessed, I guess, almost firsthand the limitations, strengths, and a lot of trauma that exist within the law enforcement community and because of the law enforcement community. And so that's my interest. I'm a social worker with veterans specifically and work with veterans now. But I want to serve my community, and I'm specifically interested in those policies and procedures that get us closer to being done well, policing done well, and to keep our community safe. I've watched some commission meetings prior to now. I most recently watched the February 8th meeting and reviewed the minutes and familiarized myself with the role and the work that you all do. And so again, thank you for interviewing me.
Yeah, thank you. Dallas?
Please tell us what experience you have working to help develop policies and make recommendations on agency resources priorities.
Sure. So professionally right now, I'm the chief of social work for the Roseburg VA healthcare system. And of course, we have a substantial budget for the 3 programs that report up to us and responsibility for all the policies, standard operating procedures, and informing governing documents that govern all of the work that we do. And so most of that experience is in the professional realm and my work that I do on a day-to-day basis. I also have served on the Western Kentucky University, which is my undergraduate institution, served on the Student Life Foundation there that owns and manages all the residence halls. And I was also a member of the Board of Regents for Western Kentucky University as a student regent. And so from a more macro level perspective, I've had experience with those 2 boards and the scope of university campus, including a police force.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I believe I have the next question. So what do you think are the three most critical policing issues facing the Eugene Police Department and our community as a whole? And how would you address these issues as a member of the Police Commission?
Sure. The first thing that comes to mind, of course, is Referendum 110, which the commission has been working on, or not working on specifically, but trying to figure out how to navigate the limitations that we have related to substance use and policing. We know that after Referendum 110 was passed, that there was a significant spike in fentanyl overdose. Whether or not that's specifically tied to the referendum or not, it's, that's a question that remains unanswered as of yet, but there at least is a correlation between the two. And that challenges our police departments and law enforcement community as a whole in Oregon, specifically in Eugene, because obviously we have to keep each other safe. We have to keep our citizens safe. I think the pandemic also was a variable that was significant in that spike. But nonetheless, Referendum 110 is a concern, and obviously, as a social worker, I'm very much in favor of harm reduction as a way to navigate and a way to guide the work that we need to do, because it's evidence-based. And the work that we're doing in and around harm reduction is valuable, even when the outcomes aren't what we expected. And I think we expected different outcomes from Referendum 110. And so getting a really good grasp on the science, and really we're talking about social science here, but it's still science. Getting a good grasp on the social science and the impact, it's important before we change or recommend changes in both application of the law, policy, and certainly in procedure for our police department. I think another concern that are for both law enforcement and our citizens was our Oregon Measure 114 related to gun control that is still, held up in the courts. My concern from the beginning there was that obviously measures in the ballot measure were designed to help keep us safe, and unfortunately also represented an unfunded mandate for law enforcement agencies. And so that's a concern that I think is certainly present and needs attention. Of course, both of these things are things that are happening to the commission rather than us enacting them or making policy from them. It's just that how we navigate it, I think, is important. Also, I think you asked for three. The third one is, in my mind, is homelessness. That's one of the areas of work that I've spent most of my professional time on, and I still spend more than 50% of my time on now. It's specific to veterans, but of course, the problem concerns impact more than just our veterans. It's just the population that I happen to be working with, and policies, procedures in and around how to treat people humanely, how to keep people safe, and how to balance the rights of property owners and our neighbors. So those are the three things that I'm most focused on.
I don't know who's next. I'm sorry. Who has question number 4?
I'll go ahead and take it. The role of the police commission is to help ensure that police policies and practices represent community values. As a member of the Police Commission, how do you ascertain what community values in Eugene are?
So I've been living here in Eugene since January of 2020. And the thing that drew me to this area was that our neighbors, including citizens of Eugene and larger in Oregon, affirm the inherent dignity and worth of the person. And so, and that's not something that, coming from southern states, it's not something that was really obvious in the places that I worked and lived before, even growing up. It is something that Oregon does well, and that Eugene specifically does well. So it's that was the reputation coming in, and then now I think the question that you have, Chairman, is that, you know, how do we ascertain those things and the values, and how we bring those to the commission, to the police department. And obviously the way that we do that is with dialogue, with open and honest conversation, with being informed, intentionally informing ourselves, and representing representing our neighbors in an honest and open manner.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Scott, you want to take 5?
Yeah, I got that. Flipping back real quick. So yeah, fifth question. The Police Commission is a group of diverse individuals with diverse backgrounds who work together to make recommendations to the police chief and city council. Tell us about some of your experiences working with diverse groups with different viewpoints.
Sure. Well, so my personal experience here is that I grew up in an environment, well, I grew up going to city schools where in Paducah, Kentucky, which is certainly in the Mid-South, but comparatively, the city schools that I grew up in were very diverse, at least compared to the county schools in which which were around us. My parents held values, and I still hold the same values, that a diverse group is a safe group, meaning that if we have viewpoints and as many viewpoints as possible represented, then we'll achieve a greater degree of psychological safety and actual safety and physical safety. Also in the military, I was in the Army Reserve and spent some years working in very diverse groups there. And then since becoming a social worker in about 2008, it's been part of my personal professional ethics that I am obligated to and take personal pride in the work that I do for protected classes and also for our most vulnerable citizens, and in my case, veterans. And it's a challenge that we have in Eugene, because this is not, comparatively to other states and cities, this is not as diverse a place as we want it or need it to be. And as a result, there are biases, there are assumptions that are made out of lack of information, lack of experience, both of the police force and among, just our neighbors. And so when we're approaching policing, as I know that you all already do, you spend a good bit of time and energy in and around diversity, equity, and inclusion, all of which is very important in the work that I do too, both in hiring and retention, and ensuring that our consumers are getting culturally competent care.
We're at time here. We have one final question for you, John.
Sure.
The Police Commission meets the second Thursday of every month except for August. They meet from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Most police commissioners spend up to an hour preparing for the monthly meeting, a long time that's spent throughout the month connecting with community members. In addition, the commissioners will serve on a 4-year term. Does this time commitment work for you?
Yes, it does.
And the Police Commission also has subcommittees. Would you be willing to serve in this capacity as well?
Yes, I am. I'm willing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. And we will finish up with our process this evening and Holly will be getting back to you.
All right. Thank you all. I appreciate
Thank
the
you.
time. All
John.
right. Take care.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we're a little over. Sorry, y'all.
That's okay. Patricia Ryder is in the waiting room. Would you like me to bring her over?
Yeah, is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So Patricia Ryan.
It's Ryder. I had it mistakenly misspelled on the interview schedule. It's Ryder.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Hello, Patricia. Can you hear us?
I think she's still working on getting into our panel here.
Okay.
I see her. She's in here. She's just not popping up.
Patricia, can you hear us?
She may have hit her Wi-Fi button.
Give her just another minute here and see if she can get over.
Is there a way to like send her something in the chat that might be helpful?
I'm going to move her back to the waiting room and then I'm going to try to readmit her.
Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds good.
There we go. Try this again. Sure what's going on. It shows that she's joining us, but she's not showing up on our screen.
Yeah, and we also don't hear you. Patricia, if you would like, you don't have to be on screen, but you can just answer without being on screen. Can you take yourself off mute? Is there a phone number we can call?
Yeah, I can give her a call. I'm going to put
It's
myself on mute.
Susan. Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself here for a second, Dallas.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, she's having a hard time trying to get her to get unmuted. She can hear us and she can see us, but she's not able to communicate with us.
Okay.
She did share with me she's visually impaired. So we're gonna give her just a few more minutes here to see if she can navigate this. So hang tight.
No, and that's completely cool. Have you offered for her to be able to call in there, Holly? Because you can call into these meetings. Okay.
Scott, do you want to take a few minutes you guys want to use the bathroom for a few minutes here?
I'm
Grab a drink or something?
I'm so down for that.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Hmm.
Silver, she's still
Yes.
trying to get on here.
Okay.
I've recommended that she join us by phone, but I wonder if maybe we should move on to our next candidate. It looks like
Yeah.
Amelia is in the waiting room. We could have her come over.
Yeah, and let's see if Patricia's willing to do a phone thing
Okay,
on Wednesday
okay,
and say thank you for
you bet.
reaching out.
Okay.
Hello, Amelia, is that correct, folks?
Yes. Nicely done.
Awesome. I actually kind of have a way of hearing people's names and saying it correctly for the most part, not always.
I'm gonna say it's got to be a superhero skill right there.
I think it is. It's what I asked for. I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for looks. That's what I asked for. So thank you for joining us. I'm sorry that it's a little bit early. We lost one of our other people, but we will be proceeding forward here. We have 7 people that we hope to interview this evening, and we will have Holly get back to you with the recommendations of this subcommittee. My name is Silver Mogart. I've served in the police commission capacity since, I believe it was 2016, just before Pete Kearns went out, and we received a new process to bring in Chief Skinner. So I also serve on 2 other health committees in the community. I'm going to pass it over to Scott.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you for being there, Amelia. So my name's Scott Lemons. I work at Lane Independent Living Alliance. And then in my off time, I've been on the Police Commission for about 1.5 years as the Human Rights Liaison, or the Human Rights Commission Liaison. And I've been on the Human Rights Commission for about 3 years.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Great. Hi, Amelia. My name is Dallas Boggs, and I've been on the Police Commission now for 4 years. Holly?
Hi, Amelia. Thank you for being here. And I communicated with you about the interview tonight. I am the Police Commission Analyst, and I am the city liaison between the Commission and the City of Eugene.
Hi, Holly.
Wonderful. So let's see. I believe I think I have the. I'm not sure where we are with the round robin, you all. So I'll just start with the first question, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
So why do you want to be on the police commission? And have you ever attended a police commission meeting, either in person or virtually?
Gonna answer that backwards. So I've never attended a meeting. I did actually, after applying or after talking with Holly, I hopped online and reviewed one of the meetings, and it was really interesting. And I think that falls into why I want to be a part of this group organization, is that there's a lot of interest, I think, in police work. I've always been interested in law and those types of things. But more than anything, I feel like there's a really huge disconnect between the community and the police department as a whole. Police do some of the toughest jobs, I think, in dealing with a lot of first responder stuff. It's heavy. I work in the social service field. I work for Oregon Department of Human Services, and I was a family coach for a long time, and worked at the West Eugene office, which I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with, but it's a high I've got a sinus infection. I'm sorry. It's there's a lot of traffic that comes through and a lot of folks that we serve. I'm not in that role anymore, but working with that population, there's no right answer. And I think getting to see things from different perspectives and understanding different perspectives and being able to articulate that to others, being able to be a liaison between the police and between the public, and the community that we live in, is a necessary thing. And I'd like to be able to help with that and hopefully provide some insights and learn some new things for sure.
Great. Scott?
So yeah, oh, wrong document. Okay, so second question, please tell us what experience you have working to help develop policies and to make recommendations on agency resource priorities.
So the majority of my experience with regards to policy is my work experience. So I currently am in the hearings unit for the Oregon Department of Human Services. So essentially what that means is, I don't know if you all are familiar with the benefits that Oregon Department of Human Services has. There's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP. There's also Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, which is a cash aid program for low-income families. And there's childcare benefits. So there's a lot of benefits that folks can go in and apply for based off of income and resources and these types of things. So when somebody does not agree with the department's decision, I am in the hearings unit, so I will represent the department on certain topics specific to expedited hearings, which have to meet a specific criteria. But they're held a little bit quicker than normal hearings. And what I have to do is I have to review policies and organ administrative rules on the regular to see, did we as the department make the correct decision? Did we do due diligence in helping that family the best we could with the policies that were in place at that time and space? And so I review a lot of cases in that, and I review a lot of organ administrative rules and policy. And learning how to read and interpret policy is something that I admire anybody, because policy is usually written in a language not ordinary to what we use in day-to-day terms. So like I'm talking to you right now, that's not generally how policy is written. And so being able to interpret that and understand what it actually is saying has been a big piece of my understanding over the last year and a half with my current role. So policy is still relatively new to me. I do understand it has a place, and I do understand that it should be a living document and that it should be reviewed based on what's currently going on in the times that we're in and the situations and those types of things. But I understand that it is there for a reason, and it does help set some guidelines and parameters. Hopefully that answered your question.
Dallas?
Yes. What do you think are the 3 most critical policing issues facing the Eugene Police Department and our community as a whole? And how would you address these issues as a member of the Police Commission?
Oh gosh. Wow, that's a big question. You guys are going for it. I like this. Okay. I think the first one is I think they're tied. So community understanding of what police do and police presence in the community is a big one. And I think optics, we'll go with optics. I think that's a big piece. Optics, and then tied with that is really self-care of officers. I think that the culture and support, and to be fair, I was listening in on I watched the last meeting on health and wellness, mental health and wellness, the subcommittee. But I think that that is a huge piece, is that, when you have people that are working with vicarious trauma in your face all day long, that comes into play and how your work culture plays out. And I think that obviously presents itself to the community. So that kind of ties in with optics. So making sure that the police officers that are, are cared for and understood and, taken care of to a degree, taking care of themselves and knowing when signs of burnout are happening and really reaching out for those resources. But also the community as a whole in how we view the police. I know that there is a lot of, and I'm very ignorant to this, so I shouldn't say I know, but I believe that there's a lot of pushback when it comes to police as a whole in regards to the ACAB acronym. I know that a lot of people have not had great interactions with the police, and that is, not specific to our area, that's specific countrywide. And I would love to be more educated on this, and just I think that it is absolutely an issue, and I think that kind of falls in line with optics. So that's kind of all up at the top. Second, I guess, would be I'd love to just learn more about our community and learn more about what the law is and what the law does. And 3, getting to talk with people. I like to talk to people. I like being part of the community. I'm pretty quiet for the most part, and so getting to kind of spread out and get to know folks a little bit better would be super delightful. So those are the loaded top 3, 2 and 1.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
the role of the Police Commission is to help ensure that police policies and practices represent the community and its values. As a member of the Police Commission, how would you ascertain what community values are in Eugene?
Oh man. Well, for one, Eugene, as you all know, is super diverse in a lot of ways, and I think it's celebrated for that, which is pretty groovy. So I, instead of inventing the wheelhouse, would kind of talk to folks within the committee to find out, how they've gotten in touch with the community as a whole. Probably would want to sit in on some city council meetings or just sit on some of the various groups, hoping that there's representation. And if there's not, what are some subgroups or committees, organizations? I think nonprofits also are pretty groovy in that, being able to connect with HIV Alliance and find out the population that they work with and serve and the folks that they're talking to. Let's see here. Nonprofits I got working with Cahoots, perhaps, or just at least shadowing maybe some of the work that they do, getting different perspectives, because we are all very, very different. And I don't think there is one person you could talk to or one group that could encompass the entirety of it all. So it would probably just be a networking opportunity to just talk to people and ask questions, and get an idea, because I think the beauty of Eugene is that we are all super, super different, and there's a lot of different opinions. And yeah, I'd be curious to see how they all come together and how folks go about getting to know those types of things.
Awesome. Thank you. Scott?
So the police commission is a group of diverse individuals with diverse backgrounds who work together to make recommendations to the police chief and to the city council. Tell us some of your experiences working with diverse groups with different viewpoints.
Overall, personally, I'll just say that I try to respect others. I like to respect their existence as a whole. We may not see eye to eye, but we can somehow come to some we could most likely come to some sort of, my gosh, I'm so sorry. Words. I ultimately want to respect somebody's existence. We do not have to agree, but we have to, I think, respect one another's existence. And so you can politely disagree. You can respectfully agree to disagree. You can laugh about something that you both don't agree on. My work has given me a huge opportunity to work with a ton of different folks. I personally was raised in a very low socioeconomic background, and I'm the first in my immediate family to get a bachelor's degree. So going through the college process as a later adult, I was 31 when I graduated. So that was an interesting experience, being kind of out of my cultural element in college. So kind of from there and just through my career with the Oregon Department of Human Services, and I worked for RISE as a, oh gosh, direct support professional. I met a lot of folks I wouldn't normally meet on my day-to-day, just my personal space. And I think the biggest piece is understanding we are all different, respecting kind of has to come to the forefront, and really just respect, and understand we are all different, and hold space for folks and listen, do a lot of active listening. I tend to be a people person as a whole. I really like people. I like their stories, and I really like one-on-one sessions, getting to know people, and getting different perspectives. So meeting folks kind of, face value, who you are. Also understanding that people leading, I'm trying to be professional and myself at the same time. So I'm blending words here. Apologize. Oh gosh. Again, sorry, my head's a little foggy today. Leading with positive intent. So knowing that the majority of folks that you're working with on the same goal, we all have the same ideal outcome, right? We want to support things. We want things to go well. And knowing that that is where whoever is bringing up a topic, maybe I don't agree with, knowing that that is ultimately where that's coming from, is it's positive intent. So, and I would think putting myself in new or different spaces. I tend to get excited about things, new things. I lead with curiosity. I would say that's almost one of my superpowers, is just being curious. Kid-like to a degree, but professional at the same time. Just really interested in what's going on and knowing that, ultimately this is a positive thing, what we're working towards. And if it is a negative thing, that we're working together for a common goal, on whatever topic it might be. Wow, that was really wordy. Thank you for your patience.
No problem. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Oh, thank
You get
you,
the fun-
sir.
Do you get
Yeah,
the final
we're on
question
the
that
we're on the,
was asked?
yes. We're on the sixth question.
Yeah.
The police commission meets the second Thursday of every month, except for August, from 5:30 to 8. Most police commission members spend up to an hour preparing for monthly meetings, along with time spent throughout the month connecting with community members. In addition, commissioners will serve a 4-year term. Does this time commitment work for you?
Yes. And from what I read, maybe a 5 to 10 hour monthly commitment, depending on what's going on, kind of a thing.
Yeah. The police commission also has subcommittees. Would you be willing to serve in this capacity as well?
I'd be interested in hearing, yeah.
That completes the questions for tonight.
Thank you so much for your time, Amelia. And we will finish up our process here, and Holly will be getting back to you.
Perfect. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate you taking time to meet with me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
have a good
Take care.
So
Okay.
Silver, so Patricia it looks like she's joined us through a different method, but we're waiting for Thomas Stedman. He's been on for a while here, but then he hopped off. So I'm hoping he's gonna hop back on
Okay.
in just a minute. Do you want to meet with Patricia after we meet with Thomas?
Yes, Thomas has been a long. Yeah, he shouldn't be waiting that long for you.
Yeah, and I mean, did you send everybody their schedule as well?
Yes.
So, okay, we've been pretty good about keeping on that schedule. So,
We got off kilter though.
yeah, a
there
little
for
bit.
a few minutes. So trying to navigate. But I'm not sure if this there's someone else that's on here, but I saw Thomas on here earlier.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get Thomas on right now, do you guys need a break or anything?
No, I'm good.
Scott. Okay. Let's keep with the schedule, and then we'll meet with Patricia after.
Okay. I don't know if this person that's in the waiting room is Thomas. It's a different name. I don't recognize it.
That happens sometimes.
Thomas was on earlier under his name, so it makes me curious if it's the same person.
Okay. Do you want to bring them in and let's see?
Okay.
Is this Thomas? I see a Vic Gritsmacker. Is that an alias for Thomas, or is it Thomas available?
I'm gonna remove them.
Yeah, let's remove them.
Okay. Okay, so we have Patricia here. So do you want to go ahead and move on with Patricia?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Hello, Patricia. My name is Silver, and I'm the chair of the subcommittee. I've been on the police commission for 6 years, 7 years, maybe 8 years. And I'm going to give a option for. I'm going to let the other commissioners introduce themselves, and then let's proceed with this interview. Scott.
Thank you, and thanks, Patricia, for handling all the technology stuff. So my name is Scott Lemons. I work with Lane Independent Living Alliance. I've been on the Police Commission for about 1.5 years as the Human Rights Commission liaison, and I've been on the Human Rights Commission for almost 3 years. So thanks for dealing with that, and thanks for coming today.
Hello, Patricia. My name is Dallas Boggs, and I'm in my 4th year with the Police Commission. Holly?
Hi, Patricia. I'm not sure if you are on here. I know I can see you in the panel here, but I don't know if you can hear us or can speak to us. Hopefully. I know we're having some challenges here. I don't think she can connect. Silver, how would you like to proceed?
Yeah, so I don't have an option to do anything in the chat. I don't know that you do have that option. Holly, do you have any kind of way to communicate with her?
I don't have that option. Oh, here we
There we
go.
go.
Yay! Okay, good.
Can you see me now? And
That's it. We can hear you. That's all that matters.
that-
Oh, there,
okay,
we can see
good.
you. We can see you. Excellent. Welcome.
Okay. You
You're
can't
fine.
see the whole screen at once. There's always some little thing that says over here, you know, that it gives you some kind of announcement that you have to say, oh, I have it. And then it lets you come in. So
Well, welcome.
Thank you for joining us. So we'll let Dallas ask the first question. We're going to try to keep it pretty tight here.
okay, yeah, because I heard all your introductions.
Thank you. Okay. So why do you want to be on the Police Commission, and have you ever attended a Police Commission meeting either in person or virtually?
I would like to be on a police commission because I see some things that I think I could be, good at advising with. I walk the Fern Ridge Trail all the time. And there are a lot of homeless people there, and there are a lot of things that they talk about with me that I'm not sure gets up into the, I don't know, the thought process as a police. And no, I have never been to a meeting either in person or virtually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's me. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah.
Question 2.
Yeah.
So please tell us what experiences you have working to develop policies and to make recommendations on agency resource priorities.
None.
Okay.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. Scott?
Yeah, so third question. What do you think are the 3 most critical policing issues facing the Eugene Police Department and our community as a whole? How would you address these issues as a member of the Police Commission?
But I think the issue facing the police commission or the police department is staff shortage. There seems to be quite a few positions available, and in the reviews I read of working for the Eugene Police Force, that seemed to be a problem, that there just wasn't enough people to keep the police force going like it should. Boy, I think there's still some, well, I don't know. there's still some publicity issues or public relation issues with the police and the general public. You know, I'm a member of the Unitarian Church, and they had the defund police. The police came in and they did their spiel, and I disagree with it because I don't think the police need less funding. I think they need more funding. I think the funding just shouldn't go to more weapons and more militarization of the police. You know, it should go to training to teach the police to interact better with the public. And you know, I watched a few YouTube videos about police forces that do this, especially along racial lines, and it seems to really help. So that would be one. And yeah, I don't know. As far as the other one goes, to be honest, I just don't know that much about the police at this point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good enough answer. Thank you. So the role of the police commission is to help ensure that police policies and practices represent community values.
Mhm.
As a member of the police commission, how would you ascertain what community values are in Eugene?
By talking to them, by talking to the community, and seeing what's most, you know, it's most important. I mean, I do like talking to the homeless. You know, one of the things that concerns them is when they get detained or arrested, their stuff is left there. And of course, by the time they get back, it's gone. You know, and so if you get arrested or detained and you have a vehicle, it's put into impound. And so granted, people's stuff doesn't bring any money for resale, but by letting their stuff just go and be trashed or stolen or whatnot, it just encourages them to go out and steal more. So by, you know, holding on to their stuff for them and not charging them for it because they have no money anyway, you know, it's kind of like crime prevention. And I don't know if that gets into, you know, how the police organize their procedures around the homeless and what to do with them and their stuff. No, that is, you know, one of my concerns.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Scott? You're on mute, Scott.
Thank you. For number 5, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Sure. So the police commission is a group of diverse individuals with diverse backgrounds who work together to make recommendations to the police chief and to the city council. Tell us about some of your experiences working with diverse groups with different viewpoints.
Right. Well, I'm visually impaired, and working with the public in general is a different viewpoint because I literally, you know, no pun intended, I see things in a completely different way. I work a lot with the homeless people. I run a pet food pantry, and I give out pet food to you know, the homeless, the unhoused for their pets. Yeah. Right now that's about what I do as far as, you know, diversity goes. It's Eugene, so it's fairly undiverse. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Dallas, you have the final question?
Yeah, so the final question is, the police commission meets the second Thursday of every month, except for August, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Most police commission members spend up to an hour preparing for monthly meetings, along with time spent throughout the month connecting with community members. In addition, commissioners will serve a 4-year term. Does this time commitment work for you?
Yes.
And secondly, the police commission also has subcommittees. Would you be willing to serve in this capacity as well on a
Possibly.
subcommittee?
Yeah. It depends on what the subcommittee is for.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Well,
much,
that completes.
Patricia. Yeah, we appreciate your time and thank you for
Sure.
rolling with us.
Huh?
We're going to finish up our process here and we'll let Holly know and she'll be in touch with you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So sorry for all the technical difficulties.
No
We worked it
problem.
out.
No worries, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Holly, do we have Vic? Or I'm sorry.
Well, actually, that was Thomas. He was joining from a friend's account.
Okay.
And so I think I might have blocked him. And so he's been emailing me trying to get to rejoin. And so
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to get on here.
Can we send him the link info?
He has it.
Yeah, all
I
he needs to
just-
do is
yeah,
maybe a phone went out.
I just emailed him.
Okay.
Let's see if he can. I'm emailing him right now.
Okay.
Oops. So hopefully he can join us here. We'll give him just a few minutes. I feel
So
bad
let us know.
because, oh, go ahead.
Let us know before you do bring him in. Do you see him in the waiting room?
I don't.
Okay. Is there anybody else on the panel currently that can hear our conversations?
No.
Okay. I do like keeping to the allotted time. It really is, it was beyond us to have that happen with Patricia. I hope John that we get John back on. Thomas, I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Thomas.
I want to say briefly that I've been going through the matrix as we've been doing this and taking notes. And I will say very emphatically for my part that Jeff, Gordon, and Amelia were two people that I think would be great in this capacity. And I'd be willing to put them forward to the police commission. And I welcome you guys to comment or voice any comments or concerns.
I have John Bradley is my number one, and I have Amelia Fouts is number two. That's where they're currently at. I have Jeff and Jack tied, and then Patricia, and then John Schmidt.
And when it comes to the first two, from my perspective, I have not scored them up yet because I'm taking everything in. But
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it comes to the first two, I don't think like we're looking at anything different. But I'm gonna hold the comments because this is on the public record.
Right. That's where I'm at now. And we're just waiting for the last person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's tried to join, but it's not working. It's not, he's actively trying. He just emailed me.
Okay.
It's frustrating. I feel bad. I feel bad that we've had this issue.
Yeah. So the person that was in was Vic or Thomas?
Yeah, he was joining under a friend's name.
Okay. Has there been any other traffic on the panel side?
No.
Okay. And was Thomas on for most of this process?
It looked like it, yes.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
I know, I feel bad. Well, we can give him a couple more minutes to see if he can get on, or I don't know if you want to continue on with your discussion of scoring recommendation.
Um,
Are you trying to get your totals tonight, or we're going to hear about it later? I mean, I
I
don't know
would
what
like
you.
to, I don't want to push you guys, but it would be great. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Okay.
Okay, great.
I'm going to move him over.
okay.
Good evening, everybody there. Can you hear me all
Yes,
right?
hello. Hi,
Yes,
Thomas.
Fighting a little bit of a cold, sinus infection, and sore throat. So, and after it's been going on for 3 days. So sorry about the confusion and mess. I was using a friend's computer to log in with, and she's an old friend. She was a ER nurse and an ICU nurse. So, and, anyway, still
Well,
there?
yeah,
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
my name is Silver. I'm I've been on the police commission for about 7 or 8 years, and
Wow.
so I'll be stepping down. And I also serve on 2 other committees, healthcare committees in the community. I'll pass it over to
Okay.
Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, just super quickly. Hey there, Scott Lemons. I work with Lane Independent Living Alliance in Eugene, and in my off time, I've been on the police commission for about 1.5 years as the Human Rights Commission liaison, and I've been on the Human Rights Commission for almost 3 years.
All right. Okay. That's quite a bit.
Hello, Thomas. My name is Dallas Boggs, and I've been on the commission now for the 4 years. Holly.
Okay.
Hi, Thomas. I'm glad that you could join us, and welcome. And we'll go ahead and get started with the questions.
Okay.
Dallas, I had you as the first question.
Great. Okay, Thomas, here's your first question. Why do you want to be on the police commission, and have you ever attended a police commission meeting in person or virtually?
Probably the biggest reason is, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I've been in the community since 1978 when I got out of the service, and I realized that the commission doesn't have an oversight role. It typically just goes through policy, making recommendations, and I think it would be a good way to become more involved. Also, when I worked as a medic on cahoots, I got to know a number of the police officers, and just have a general interest in their well-being and that of the community. And I figure it's a good way just to become, more involved and to hear what's really, what people have concerns about. If there's things that we can do to help them out, and then that's pretty much it that I can just off the top of my head. So
Thank you for your answer. Mhm.
So please tell us what experience you have working to help develop policies and to make recommendations on agency resources.
Let's see. When I was with Weyerhaeuser paper mill, I was a shop steward, and then I moved on up into standing committee, first step all the way up to third step. One of the things that we tried to incorporate, well, we did incorporate but it was pretty much left laying on the table because fear of stepping forward. And what it involved was we were told it was the first type of organization committee that Weyerhaeuser had created, and what it was a joint union corporate committee to address hostile work environment, sexual harassment, and it was to cover all aspects, whether the people coming forward were union members or people in the corporate ladder, whether it was in engineering, production, appropriations, what have you. Another one was just was in when I was with the service as our race relations equal opportunity representative. It was just becoming a sounding board more for people of color, people suffering, like whether the persons were Hispanic, Latino, Chicano, Black, what have you, Native American, and it was a little bit successful, let's say. And then also another one with Weyerhaeuser, we decided to develop into high performance work systems, where we literally went in and redesigned all the ladders of progression, in all the positions in the mill. And I believe the Japanese culture calls it Kaizen. So, and it went pretty far. We actually started making quite a bit of profit from it, but the corporate, next to the union negotiation, corporate shut us down. We all had to go on strike, and while we were on strike, they literally came in and implemented something similar to what we had proposed, but to an even more extreme. And I believe they put in 300 plus monitoring cameras, in all the production aspects. So it was just, you have certain goals and expectations, but you have to temper those and realize that what you think you're accomplishing might not be the final picture. It's disheartening, but we just moved on.
Thank you. I think I have the next question. Is that correct? Or do you, Scott? Okay.
So, what do you think are the three most critical policing issues facing the Eugene Police Department and our community as a whole? How would you address these issues as a member of the Police Commission?
That's on how to address them. I think it's going to be quite a bit, but I think one of the most critical ones is the homelessness. This is something that we saw coming a long time ago. I think upwards of at least minimum of 25 years ago, starting on the coast. People that were working in the coast could not afford to have residents over there, and we kind of, I think we neglected to be a little more, having more foresight. I think one of the next one is I'm seeing a lot of people going to Springfield and Lane County Sheriff. I think we're going to have I think that's going to be a real, I would even go as far as to say I think it's going to be a bigger issue than homelessness. Because if we don't have the staff, I mean, if we're losing people, not just to retirement and that, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of young people leaving, and we just won't have that, big a diversity for women officers. And I think that's going to be critical, because if people are seeing that, I heard people leaving Eugene Police. I mean, there's got to be some underlying issues, and I'll be honest with you, I think there are times where, to me, it's perceived as the good old boy type of system, and I hope I'm wrong. I saw a lot of that in a couple of places that I worked in the past, and Weyerhaeuser being the worst. I mean, it was just, I saw, as a union rep, I was asked to do a lot of representation for women because there were numbers of on the union that sorry, they want to come right out and say it, but there's associates of theirs that, you know, this is the guy's place. You know, women don't, you know, belong here. They don't deserve to be making this type of money. And I saw where supervisors would entrap women in the control rooms. So you figure that it's a 24-hour operation. Women are in these control rooms by themselves and having foremen, you know, say, hey, go check the back of the control panels or something back there that's making noise. You go back behind a panel and you turn around and there's your foreman with a pipe saying, you know, this is what's going to happen. And then other guys were just even, you know, I know it's, you know, pretty disgusting, but they would come up and but anyway, I think the other one too is, you know, it's just the other big issue that I think we're going to be addressing is, you know, we talk a lot about the cascade of subduction. You know, one, if we don't have enough people to staff the calls, if we have a, you know, a major catastrophe, I'd like to know if we have a mutual aid agreement. You know, this with my training, I did some training with the Oregon Fire Instruction Association for incident commands, lesson plans, and then PHTLS, pre-hospital trauma life support, and a lot of it revolved around mutual aid agreements, especially when I was on the emergency response team as an LT, and we were doing training for collapsed structure, 300-foot rappel to rescue recovery. And one thing I learned is that a lot of the mills have ERTs, but I also got to learn more about mutual aid agreements. I think that I'd like to see what kind of a policy that we have here with the police that revolves
Thomas,
around.
we need to get on for that. We got 3 more questions here, so.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought there was just 4. My apologies.
No, that's okay. So I'll ask the next one. The role of the police commission is to help ensure that police policies and practices represent community values. So as a member of the police commission, how do you ascertain what community values are in Eugene?
You know, just keeping abreast of what the media has to report, being out in the community, gathering information. I'm still a member of the Cal Young Neighborhood Association, and I get to hear from different people there, and just going out in the community and, you know, attending some of the different cultural diversity. Well, like today with MLK Day, going out there and just listening to people, going down, you know, when there's the gay pride down in Alton Baker Park, and listening to people there and representing them, and just, you know, if you see some homeless folk, the other week I went and I just sat and chatted with one gentleman that responded to giving chest compressions for a young man who had apparently overdosed. It was like 6:30 in the morning, Broadway and Pearl, doing chest compressions, talking to the homeless gentleman that came over to assist me. Actually had 2 Narcans in his pocket. He carries 7 at a time, and I sat and talked with him. And he's telling me about all the fentanyl overdoses that are going on in town. It's just reaching out and talking to people, but not being afraid to listen.
Thank you. Scott, you have the next question?
The police commission is a group of diverse individuals with diverse backgrounds who work together to make recommendations to the police chief and to the city council. Tell us about some of your experiences working with diverse groups with different viewpoints.
You know, again, it goes back to my union representation, and then also one job I had where I was over in Springfield. I think I mentioned about being approached by the Klan to join the organization, and just realizing that there are those type of diverse people in the community. people we really need to monitor. But and then also with cahoots, people going through life with hard, bad days. It's just helping out where you can like that. So I'm not sure if that answers your question. But you have to forgive me. I'm taking some, cough syrup and lozenges, and it's just it's been a long day.
Thank you, Thomas. And we have Dallas with the final question.
Okay.
All right, number 6. Here's the last question. The police commission meets the second Thursday of every month, except for August, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Most police commission members spend up to an hour preparing for monthly meetings, along with time spent throughout the month connecting with community members. In addition, commissioners will serve a 4-year term. Does this time commitment work for you? Yes or no?
Yeah, that would work for me. Like I say, I'm on the Cal Young Neighborhood Association, and my thoughts are that I would step down from that, because one thing I would love to be able to start doing again is to volunteer with Muni Court. And I believe Muni Court is on Wednesdays now, down on 11th and Lincoln. When I was doing it before, it was at the library, and it was just, it was actually a pleasant time. You got to meet a lot of great people, people that were looking for, resources. And, I thought I think it's a great opportunity for people just to, to find help. And I don't think that would, like I said, that's something I would like to do. And I don't think
Great.
that would interfere with being on the board.
And the second part of that question is, the police commission also has subcommittees. Would you be willing to serve in this capacity as well?
I would put a caveat on it. I would look at it like, what could I bring to it? Would I be able to bring anything to it? And then what on the subcommittee, what will I learn? Would I be an actual asset, or would the learning curve make me a hindrance to the rest of the committee? So it's not like I'm just intentionally going to be picking and choosing, but I would converse with the other members on a committee just to see what would be my role, and could I successfully complete that.
Well, thank you very much. That completes your
Sorry
interview.
about that. Okay,
Yeah, thank
I
you,
appreciate
Thomas.
it.
Sorry about the issues that we were having there, and thank you for getting back on with us. We're going to finish up our process this evening, and Holly will get in touch with you.
Okay, thank you all. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
you.
you have a good evening.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Thomas. Okay, y'all. So Holly. All right. So
Yes.
nobody else is on the panel currently, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you mind? Can we stop the
Yes.
recording and then
Yes.
finish our